I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all those persons around there who's actually tuned into us. I want to say good afternoon to you. I hope you guys are good. Today, it is a beautiful day. Feeling different. I got a little scarf on. Hold on. Phil asked me, Howard, is that a show? Listen, hope you guys are good out there, man. Hope you guys are jamming and being able to have a beautiful weekend. I hope you did have a good weekend. This show is not brought to you by Duncan. I am just having Duncan. It just will be decent with you. It's a beautiful day and always grateful to be in your company as we continue to be able to jam with you before I get cut on these people internet. I guess let me cut that off. Guys, I'm good to be here. I'm grateful to be here. I hope you guys are good. I pray that we have a good show today. If you want to be able to join in the conversation, I'd love you to do so. The numbers that you can hit me up on are 827-0111, 827-0111. That's us right here. You can be able to hit me up with a text or call as we can be able to get those things taken care of and jam with you. It's a beautiful day. We're going to talk about these things. There's a great deal of things that's happening out there in the city. Great deal of things that are happening in our country, and we need to be able to find ourselves in the position that we can talk about it with clarity, for the purposes of growth and development and being able to find ourselves in the right position. All right. So wherever we are, guys, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you could hear me. Let me know if I'm loud and clear. Let me know if I'm echoing. Let me know if you can hear it twice. I decided, and I think that this is what the issue was. Okay. So let's just talk about this. For all those persons who are the first time tuning in, you can hear some things that we've been struggling with for the past couple of days. But I think I realized what the issue is. Now, the issue is or was, right? And we got to be able to rectify that, right? Oh, Lord, I see reflection in the back there. I got to fix this, right? But the issue is or was, and we got to be able to deal with that, is that I think I had two people on at the same time. No, I know I had two different entities on or two different platforms on at the same time. I think that's what my problem was. My internet with Starlink is only giving me enough to be able to boost one of these things. Okay? I'm looking at this today. I don't know if I see any lag. I don't know if I see any issues. Oh, Lord, it looked like I paused and still. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if I see any lag. Oh, let's check it out. No, I don't think I see any lag. You guys tell me if you're seeing any lag or anything. You could just be able to hit me up. Now, what it is that I was going on TikTok live also. So simultaneously, I was using one streaming source to go, one internet source to take me up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. That's too much. That's too much. The thing was, it was fragmented. It was lagging. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I decided not to be able to go on TikTok today. And the thing is that we were growing a nice little following on TikTok. A lot of persons were actually contributing and being a part of that. So I have called BTC to see if I can get some things straight. I can tell you a little bit of my business. BTC said, Howard. I said, yes. They said, is this Howard Grant? I said, yes, this is Howard Grant. But it's showing that you had some bills here that you didn't take care of. So I said, bills? I said, how could that possibly be? I have my phone with you guys, right? I put it over to Alive, and then I moved back from Alive at one point. Alive wasn't giving me the kind of service that I wanted. It just wasn't. Not in a bad way. This ain't like trying to insult them or saying that they're subpar. What I needed for them at a particular time was poor. Now, I'm going to say something to you also. For the past 4 months, I couldn't get on my voice note. I call them every day. I send voice note. I send emails. I never get a response. I cannot get into my voicemail. If you dial my private line, the 422 line, if you dial my private line, I cannot get into my voice notes. I cannot get into my voice notes. Now, I hope to God to be shamed today. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. I cannot get into my voice notes. I cannot, for 4 months, I cannot. There are voice notes. Takes me straight to mailbox option. It takes me straight to mailbox options. It doesn't. For 4 months, I called, I went in, I did everything. No, I didn't go in yet. I got to go in. I never had the chance to go in. But 4 months, I couldn't get on. Anyway, long story short, I called BTC over the weekend. And I said, Mr. Grant, you have a bill here with us. I said, you sure? It's me? I said, it ain't me. You sure it ain't another grant? No, we checked your NIB and it aligns with this particular thing. So I said, you sure? I said, because I don't know me to owe you no money. A little $1,400, $1,500, something like that, right? So I said, well, why would you open an account for me if I owe you money? I can't owe you no money. I said, because I have a current account with you, and anytime you send me an invoice, it's only about my current bill. Now, well, Mr. Grant, this is a bill that you have here. So I said, what's the bill? 2003. I wasn't married. I had no children. Nothing. I was working at the hotel. This was a landline. From 2000, landline. I said, baby, I never used this. Okay, so I had moved out of my parents' home. I was living with my grandmother. I moved with my parents from I was 17. Then I moved to Cuba, right? Then I moved to Cuba. I moved back, got a job. I started to live with my grandmother, right? Everybody was moving away from my grandmother, so I moved in with her, right? And this was during the time when, I just got my girlfriend, right? Just got my girlfriend, who's my wife now. And I needed her to be able to have immediate access to me. You remember, cell phones were extremely expensive, and we were using the card. So you put your little money, you scratch off the card, you put your little money on your card. That's what we were using during the time. But the phones were expensive. 2000, 2001, 2002. Phones, it was a luxury. You didn't have a phone, right? And if you did, it was a prepaid phone. And so essentially this was a prepaid phone for me. But I wanted to be able to have immediate access and have my sweet thing be able to call me whenever she won't call me, right? So I got a phone in my room where I was in 8 Mile Rock, in my room. That's the only thing I used the phone for, The phone was in my room. $1,500. I never called no overseas. Never, none of that. I don't have nobody to talk to overseas who I could call overseas. I think that this is sort of an accumulation. Anyway, long story short, we're going to be able to rectify that issue, and then BTC is going to come in here and be able to light me up with all, because they're going to have to be able to put everything in here. These are the tales of an entrepreneur. These are the steps that needs to be taken, and being able to identify those things that needs to be done. So essentially, that's just what it was. Right? I was unable to do some stuff, and I recognized that the issue that we had was solely because, of this internet. I had too much things on one internet. My uploads are horrible. I need BTC. Well, I probably need a life. If I can't get BTC, we can figure this out. Nonetheless, I need better uploads and whatnot. The Starlink is great. Now, don't trip. Don't think that I'm saying that the Starlink is an issue. The Starlink is great, but for what I need more than this. I need more than this. I can't just do this little piece of thing. This ain't enough. I need more than this. I need more than this. And so hopefully we can be able to rectify those issues and take it from there. All right, guys, what's in the papers today? I hope you guys are good. Had a good weekend. I saw some stuff going around on social media, being able to talk about those things. They have all hell breakout in Mexico. All hell breakout in Mexico. They killed this guy. I can't remember his name. Let me see if I can find his name. They killed this guy in Mexico. And as a result of his death, there is an insatiable appetite for revenge. Everybody and their ma fighting in this place now. Everybody fighting. Let's see if we can find this thing. Oh, this is strange. Yeah. I'm looking for his. I can't remember his name. I said it maybe about 4 or 5 times. They murdered him. They did a small story on him, being able to identify exactly what his issues was, and in the midst of that story, let me see if I can be able to find this for you. Mexico. Yeah, man. There's a lot of things going on this weekend. I hope you guys are good. Have you been safe? I've been watching this thing very close about this particular thing. And anyway, we can talk about this and find out exactly what's what and identify those things. Guys, make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper. Make sure you pick up your Tribune newspaper. Make sure you pick up your local dailies to keep yourself abreast exactly what's happening in the Tribune. They're talking about how the power outages played a role in Coach's death. Hall of Fame coach Bonnie Baisden, who's passed away, I think, last week at some point. A lot of persons are really being able to speak about her more specifically and the contribution that she would have made to their lives. And one of the more heartfelt ones was Jay Philippe, being able to extend a significant amount of acknowledgments and accolades to her for her contribution in his life personally. So I know that it's always wonderful to see people being able to do like that. But they're saying that the Hall of Fame coach Bonnie Baisden died from a bomb threat, power cut, shut down for her vital oxygen machine. She's not the first person. I had a good friend, her husband. I have a good friend. Her husband died in Grand Bahama from similar issues. There is a dependency on being able to have the oxygen as a lifeblood. And when you don't have the electricity to be able to ensure that you can be able to get oxygen, so forth and so on, it poses a threat. And that threat sometimes takes persons out. And so this information that we're receiving is indicating that as a result of this threat, the family and Grand Bahama Coach 2025 Sports Hall of Famer Bonnie Baisden believes that the island-wide power outage in response to a bomb threat on Thursday morning played a role in her death. Baisden was 64 years old, who relied on the electronic oxygen machine, was found unresponsive on the floor of her bedroom at her home in Tasmania Road shortly after 7 a.m. She was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The outage began shortly after 7 a.m. when Grand Bahama Power Company initiated emergency shutdown and evacuation of its operations following a reported bomb threat at its generation plant on West Sunrise Highway and Peel Street. Police, fighters, and bomb assessment team searched the facility. No explosive devices were found, and the outage lasted several hours. How do they determine whether or not this is a credible threat? How do they determine? I remember one time ago, and I said this to you before. I was a little bit mischievous when I was younger. 3rd grade. In my 3rd grade, I called Martintown Primary School. This would have been 1986. 1986. Listen to me. Don't look at me in a funny way. Eh? I can tell you a story. I don't know if people tell these stories, but I'm going to tell you the story. I don't know. I don't think I enjoyed school. I don't know why. I broke my leg in the 2nd grade, and so I missed the majority of the 2nd grade. And the 3rd grade, I don't know. I think subconsciously in my mind, I didn't feel like I was prepared. I felt like I was left behind because I didn't go to school for the entire 2nd grade, right? And there was sort of a weight associated with that for me. And so I didn't feel like I was performing the way that I should have performed, right? I think that 2nd grade, which was critical, that year, which was critical for understanding and development, because I was great in the 1st grade, great in the 2nd grade. After I broke my leg, I wasn't able to do it, right? My teachers, great teachers, they used to bring home work for me, but there was no one to kind of help me with my work, right? My mother and father, they were working. The teachers couldn't help me. They just dropped it off after school. And my grandparents, that wasn't a big thing for them. I just don't know. You good, baby? You eat something? You all right? You eat something, baby? You hungry, baby? No, that's it. And so I stayed on the couch for weeks, non-productive. Telephone, I don't know. I mean, this is the first time I guess I was feeling emotions. And so 2nd grade passed, 3rd grade here. I'm in Mr. Jalkanin's class in 8 Mile Rock, right, at Martintown. And I don't know, something just happened. I guess you could say something came over me. And between the 2nd and 3rd, with 3rd and 4th grade, 3rd grade, it had been 3rd grade, right? Because Mr. Evans was excellent. I enjoyed Mr. Evans' class. We had a lot of English teachers. Like lily white English teachers we had in class with us. And these guys were great, man. They were great. I could never forget them. They were great. And their contribution was absolutely excellent in our lives. Well, in my life. I don't know what the other students, I don't know how they'll say it, but I really enjoyed them. But I called school one day, and I don't know. I think I was watching too much foolishness. I don't know, right? I muffled my voice, right? There's a bomb in the school. There's a bomb in the school. Something like that, right? And when I got to class, I'm telling you the truth. This is the honest to God truth. I should have done this. And I know better than this, right? When I got to school, we had an area that everyone assembled. outside of school. And, oh God, if they had known this was me, they'd, oh, Jesus. So they had everybody assembled outside of the school. And now this wasn't the first time we got a bomb threat to school. This wasn't the first time we got a bomb threat to school. And everyone assembled. This third grade. We're outside. Everyone's lined up. There's a police station right across the street. So everyone's lined up in the grass. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if they know it's me. Now, this is before tracking. This is before timestamps and logs and this and that and all these things. They couldn't. You used to call people and say, "Hello, how you doing? Is your refrigerator running? Well, you better go run behind it. Ha ha ha!" And then this was during that time. Very silly, but nonetheless, they did it. And so I only asked that question to ask: how do they substantiate a threat? How do they identify a threat, or do we just take every threat serious? I guess that's what they do. They just take every threat serious, because they would have gone and be able to and done everything that they could possibly do to be able to scour the environment and all these things that I don't know if I can't remember a time when a bomb threat in Grand Bahama, because this isn't the first time, was substantiated. I can't remember the first time. I can't remember that there've been because there've been several bomb threats over the years of my existence, but I can't remember as to whether or not this was substantiated. And so I only want to know, how did they be able to substantiate and identify whether or not this is a credible thing? It's sad to see that she passed away because of this. It's very sad to see. And for what persons are saying about her, I know her face, but I don't know her personally. I know her. You live in the same environment, you see these people regular, and you know what they do, but you don't necessarily know them. You've never met them. And so I've never met her. My mother and my father, they probably definitely have, but I don't know her. And we continue to be able to pray for her. We could continue to be able to pray for her. Guys, if you want to be a part of the show, please give me a call. (827-0111), 827-0111. There's a lot of things happening. I just want to talk about these things. Over the weekend, we've seen some things from a political standpoint. I'm watching Rick Fox being able to enter the not just enter the political fray, enter the sort of a conversation that is stereotypical for a political environment. Saying that we should just turn this particular pothole into the pothole conversation into a pool. Listen, we didn't get members of parliament just to be able to fix potholes. Let's just be very clear, okay? It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care who you are. I really don't care. Members of parliament's responsibility is not to be able to create an opportunity just for potholes. It's just not what it is. You're talking about fixing buildings and clinics and everything just superficial. There needs to be an opportunity for economic empowerment from each one of our members of parliament. Your portfolio has shifted over the years, okay? Let's just be very clear, all right? Everyone wants to be able to identify what a member of parliament should and should not do, and so forth and so on. Your portfolio has shifted over the years. Let's just be very clear with this, okay? Very clear. Your portfolio has shifted over the years. We no longer need you to be able to fix potholes and paint this or put up a bus stop. All these things are required. Yeah, but you could have divisions responsible for being able to ensure that the maintenance of the environment is up and the upkeep of the environment is done. That's it. You create a subdivision for that. What we need to see is opportunities to be able to send out these children to school, to educate these children. What we need to see is economic opportunities being able to roll into the constituency. What we need to be able to see is an opportunity for persons to recognize how business and work can be done in this constituency outside of the traditional political norms that exist in this environment. That's it. You need to be able to be more creative. Rick Fox, with the greatest degree of respect, sir, don't enter this conversation. You're bigger than that. Literally, physically, economically, your global exposure, you are bigger than the Apollo conversation. Please don't do it. 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 I don't know who you have advising you. I don't know these people I see around you. I don't know them. I don't know. And obviously, you're content and you're comfortable with that. I'm watching your cadences and your colloquial tongue return to you. I'm watching it slowly. And it's cool. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not fighting you. It's cool. I'm not saying that this is wrong. I'm simply saying to you that don't allow your environment to depict exactly the concept and idea of what what the social expectation of not only you, but more specifically a member of parliament. You have an opportunity to be able to show and emulate not just what a member of parliament is, but what it could be. No one else, maybe Sabas, no one else can do what you could project in this space right now. No one else. No one else. You could do it. No one else can do, project, design, and be able to cast a vision into the minds of those particular persons like you can right now. No one else can do this. No one else. No one else. You're bigger than this, my brother. You are bigger than this. Don't get into Mario, don't get in that. That's low. That's low, and that's politics for people who are lowbrow. Let's just shoot straight. That's for dumb politicians, okay? Who ain't got nothing to offer, ain't got no vision. Their political organizations identified them. They come in, and they ain't got nothing to say to the people. All they can say is, well, look what the people ain't do. My God, look at this, eh? That's all they can do. They got nothing. They don't have nothing else but to do. And all they can do is say, my God. They could do better than that, man. Well, if you vote for me, please, you're bigger than that, my boy. Okay? If you can do this, do it right. With the greatest degree of respect, I can say this to you. If you, Rick Fox, I don't know your middle name, I can find it, but I know it. If you're going to do this, do it right. Don't do it like these fellas just did. This is a level of Joneser politics that you don't need to be involved in. It's low-life politics. That is Joneson. It's a desperation. It's a plea of being able to grasp for straws. You can cast a vision into the minds of those people and be able to open up their imagination for the possibilities that you can offer with your listen, none of this costs you no money. None of this costs you no money. Everyone here you know how to get the money some kind of how. You can figure it out. You got enough local connections. You got global connections. Every time I see Shaq here, Marvin Dame somewhere around. Every time Shaquille O'Neal comes to the Bahamas, now I don't know whether or not Marvin Dame is, I don't know whether or not there's security detail, because he has a company outside of this, right? I don't know if there's this security. I don't know what it is. But every time I see Shaq, I see Marvin some kind of way, some kind of how. If he could get Shaq, you could get Shaq, of course. You and Shaq is friends. Y'all played. I mean, I can't see his friends, but y'all play together. And there is an opportunity for you to be able to get a bunch of them Reebok shoes. Come on, man. You got to think. Don't think local. Politics is local in terms of the acquisition of your vote. But politics for the transformation of the constituency of this place, of this locale that you're pursuing, requires an external assistance. If they could do it themselves from an internal standpoint, they would have done it. They do not have what it takes to be able to do this. They do not have it. The constituency does not have it. The political organization does not have access to this. The government does not have the financial wherewithal to ensure that they can be able to do this for an independent or an individual constituency. Whatever they do for one, they got to do for all 41. They cannot do it. A member of parliament should not only sit in the position of the expectation of what the central government or their political organization can do, and so they can offer a piece of this pie to their constituency, but a member of parliament should be creative enough, have the vision enough, have enough connections to be able to make something happen in that constituency. You could do that. More than anybody else around here, you could do that. This ain't require money. This only require vision. It don't require money. Listen, let's shoot straight. Sabas is doing everything that he has, or everything that he can, or must, in the constituency of Fort Charlotte, because he has immediate access to the means. He has it. There's no two ways about it. He has access. He has the means. He can do it. He can do it. There's no two ways about that. He can do it. And so because he can, he will. And what is he doing it for? What is he doing this for? Let's shoot straight and be clear about this. What is he doing this for? Is he doing it for votes? No, he's doing it for influence. He's building the rapport in the constituency that people could identify him as trusted, reliable, dependent. He has to sear that into their brains. He's trusted, he's reliable, and they could depend upon him. He's trusted, he's reliable, they could depend upon him. That for him requires him to be able to spend, he got a short bit of time. Hold on now, let's be clear about this. This heavy what I saying to you, Ricky, pretty Ricky, you're my guy. I ain't getting against you. I don't have no problem with you. Okay? Let's be clear about this. What this requires, let's be decent. Because Sabas Bastian is in the position that he has immediate access, people know him socially for being able to, there's an expectation that he spent. Sabas can't show up and try to pitch a dream to me. Excuse me, sir? Yeah, man, Howard, listen, man. Hey. Sabas, by your hands swinging, what's going on with you? This is the big bang, baby. Right now. Bring the thing. Would you put it on my account? Listen, that ain't the nature of politics in our country, but that is the expectation of what people see. And so I'm not saying everybody in Fort Charlotte is doing this, but there's an overwhelming sentiment. And Sabas knows his relationships with people and what he's been developing over the years. He's developed this particular relationship with the populace in the Bahamas that this is what he does. It's just what it is. You could hate it, love it, mad, happy, it don't matter. Sabas has built a relationship that make you to understand that he's bringing tangibility with him. I can pay for these things to get done. I don't have no time to wait on nobody else. We're going to create this for ourselves. Sabas is doing that. Sabas is doing that. And he has to do that because he has a reputation that he's built over the years that he has to maintain. He has to maintain that. He has to maintain that. There's no two ways about that. He has to. So when he show up in the constituencies, he got to fix roads. He got to fix this. He got to clear this down. He got to do these things. He got to do it big. He got to do this. He got to do it big. There's nothing wrong with that. He got to do it big. That's how he does it. He has to do it big. That's how he does it. What do you have in your hand when you show up in the constituency? Some people got charm. When Shannon Owen shows up in St. Barnabas, he had nothing but a bike and the ability to have a conversation with you. So he rode around on the bike and he talked to people and he promised them and he took care of them. And for the most part, he lived up to the promises because the people voted him in. One, they gave him a chance. One, on a wave. And two, they retained him because he did at least 70% of the things that he said he was going to do. So he's just riding around on his bicycle, just touching people, reminding people what he does. That's it. That's what he does. What do you have? I have charm, I have ability, I have relationships, I have money. What do you have? What do you have? When you show up in Garden Hills, you can't show up in a basketball conversation. Mario is a basketball man too. Now, we ain't even comparing one to another, but Mario is a basketball man. Rick Fox, what do you have when you show up to Garden Hills? Don't tell me but no damn. The potholes? Come on. Important, Crucial, That's why you got to get adept to the local needs and the issues that we're having in this country. Yeah, you gotta have further conversations with the right people who care about their constituency, their community, and not just trying to be able to hit you with the rhythm of politics and how politics goes in this country. You're not gonna learn. You're gonna be handicapped. You need to know how to start and your conversations. Sabas has been very good at that. I am extremely impressed with Sabas. I am. Listen to me. Y'all don't know that it is, but I guess you know. This is what I just do. So when you grab a microphone, I already then start assessing you. Anybody who grab a microphone, I already assessing them. Anybody who stands before a crowd and the way that they speak, their cadences, their tone, their frequencies, their way that they flow, their mindsets and how they be able to craft this conversation, their vision that they want to be able to spew, even if it's a subterranean vision that just exists beneath what they're saying. If I could be able to pull, I assessing you right off the top. Listen to me. When you touch the microphone in this country, Howard Grant is assessing you. That's my job. But nonetheless, I've done this for years before this has been my job to make a determination as to whether or not, I like how this guy said this. Oh, yeah, man, these things are nice. And so you take little pieces from different spaces and you develop. I didn't know I was going to be here, but you take those particular pieces and you said, okay, if I was to ever do this, this is how I would do it. I've been watching Sabas. When Sabas started this, right? I've never necessarily had this disdain for people who use what people say broad speaking or this heavy colloquialism. I never had an indifference for you. I never did. I never was indifferent by the approach that people take in being able to identify these things. I never was. Right? I never was. But I knew that if I did this, I would have to enunciate and be able to present myself accordingly. I knew that. And every day I'm learning more. I might as well tell you one truth. I'm learning more and more every day. Every day. Okay? When Sabas initially came out, he was rather broad with his speaking. Not uneducated, not like it was stupid, but it was a broad. For me, I picked it up as a immediate need to connect with an audience that supports him. Okay? His language, I don't know his background, I don't know all his school and all that. I heard it, I read it and saw it, but I don't know him like that. Okay? But when I listened to Sabas, when he initially came to the scene, there was this kind of a broad, enthusiastic, youthful approach. Right? Is language connected directly with a particular demographic in our society? He spoke like one of us on the blocks. Yeah, because even Howard, when I see my guys, I'm very comfortable and casual with my guys. They're my guys. So hey guys, like the formality is not there. When I initially met Sabas through the perspective of media, he was very casual with me. I don't know him. I'm just saying, as I watched him, he was very casual. And that was his audience. And it was okay for them. And he transitioned and he was going into own talks and doing these other stuff. And I said, well, what the hell is Sabas doing? What is he doing? And then I watched him, and then I watched him shave his approach. And I was absolutely thoroughly impressed with it. I could not believe he did that. I'm telling you the truth. I watched him slowly but surely shave his colloquial, the heavy, broad colloquial dialect. Now, he still got that, like all of us do. But he pivoted to be able to cater to an audience that he could be more digestible. That people don't have to now, like, one of the things I hate to do is eat fish when I'm out. Like snapper, I'll eat a piece of grouper, right? I'll eat a piece of grouper, I'll eat a piece of salmon, right? Or like the fella say, salmon. I'll eat a piece of salmon if I'm out, or a piece of grouper, right? Anything filleted that I don't have to kind of swim in my mouth for, I do that. The issue is that I hate eating snapper out. I like snapper now, I ain't got no problem with it. But I hate eating it out because I got to take the fish out of my mouth, and I don't want to swim through my mouth trying to be able to make this kind of determination. Yeah. And so I watched Sabaz take the proverbial snapper out of his conversation. That people who are trying to digest what he's saying don't have to swim through his conversations to take out the pieces that they don't want. Well, what did he mean by that? What? So he has become digestible and appetizing, right? To use these kind of, this description. He's become appetizing and digestible for these particular persons. And he shaved and curbed his language. But people still know him as Sabaz. They accepted what he's done in terms of his shifting for preparation. Subconsciously, all of us know that he was preparing for something greater. Be watching him. You may think that we ain't watching you, but we watching you. We know that you're preparing for something greater. You should have been content. You're making all this money, and you still. But even in the midst of making all this money, he changing his language, he changing his position, he changing his talk, he changing his companies. He's expanding in this area. He's being more formal. He's presenting himself from a governmental standpoint. Oh my God, what the hell is this guy doing? We watching you, buddy. We watching you. We watching you. If ain't nobody watching you, and ain't I watching you because, oh my God, this guy likes man. No, I watching you because with clarity and understanding, I am now intrigued to know what your next step will be. What is this guy going to do? What is he interested in? And then I see you into politics. I say, oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. But this was a 6-7 year run. You just didn't do this like this. You gradually, over the past 5 to 7 years, I watch you shave, develop, prepare, present. Shave, develop, prepare, present. I watch you do that over 5 to 7 years. I'm telling you, I watch you. And I believe that you're going to do well. I believe that you're going to do well. But if you afford me an opportunity, we can have a real conversation. And I don't know whether or not you're prepared for a real conversation. And for me, that will differentiate you as a serious politician for me and a visionary for me. That will differentiate how I view you in a futuristic perspective of where the country is headed. This same, whether or not you're prepared to have a real conversation. I'm watching you. You would always go sit with your own girls and your own guys on Eyewitness, and have a casual conversation. But you don't have to use nobody's else out. You got your own outlet. That's fine. But nobody there can ask you about real things, real questions. Nobody. Let's just shoot straight. Let's shoot straight. Okay? You did wonderful. But are you prepared for real leadership? Or are you just going to gradually find yourself in a position because nobody truly opposed you? That's all this is. Are you going to find yourself in a position where you move without opposition because nobody had the gusto, the huevos enough to oppose you? And this ain't opposition for the sake of opposition. This is opposition for the sake of being able to identify the conviction that exists inside you. Are you convicted? Do you mean this? Or is this just one another ploy and plot to be able to present yourself in accordance to what your desires are? That's just the questions that I have. That's just what it is. That's what it is. There's no two ways about that. That's the questions that I have. That's what I want to know. I'd like to ask you questions about what your expectations are for those persons who cling to faith, for those persons who reject this sort of an idea of numbers and the affiliations with that, for those persons who see you in the light of a proverbial criminal as it relates to the selling numbers before legalization, before it has been regularized in our society. Because there is a grouping of people that still hold an opinion of you. I'd like to know that. I'd like to talk to you about that. You don't have to talk to me. You can talk to anybody. But I don't know whether or not I could trust those conversations. Because these people work for you. Amen? I just want to be decent. These people work for you. If you're preparing to be prime minister, if you're preparing for leadership in this country, if you're doing everything to be able to separate yourself, to find yourself elevated in this country, to be able to cast a particular vision, first and foremost, I want to know how serious you are about that. And whether or not you think that because you have money, this is just another thing to do, or if you have a true desire to be able to move the country forward, that's it. I'd like to ask those questions. Rick Fox, you could separate yourself instantaneously. You didn't have to, over the years, you did not produce tangible. The relationship that you have with this country is not one that we have an expectation for you to be able to produce. From a superficial standpoint, a great deal of us are just content that you're out there and more women. You've done what you do. Everyone knows that you have significant relationships the world over, and that those relationships, even though no finances change hands, can yield a great deal for this country if you find a way to tap into it. It's simple. You have to know what's in your hand. Sabas knows what's in his hand. And he is seeking relentlessly what he envisions, whatever that is. Whatever he envisions, he is pursuing that thing relentlessly. And if I'm going to be honest, I think he's going to get it. Nah, Travis don't want him to say that, but that's what I think. I think he's going to get it. I think as he finds himself in this kind of a position, I think he's going to get it. You can't beat Mario at his game. You cannot beat Mario at his game. Mario's local. He's been here longer than you have in terms of on the ground with people. Mario is he's been touching the lives of a great deal of people through sports, through programs that keep kids out of school, that fed them, that gave them discipline, that gave them an opportunity. You cannot beat Mario at his game. I'm going to use colloquialism with you right now. You cannot beat Mario at his game, dog. It's just what it is. You can't beat him. You can't beat Mario at his game. You have to play your game. You can't play. You know better than that. You play ball. You play ball. I think you was a center, right? Center, power forward. I can't remember what the hell you was. Whatever you was. You cannot think that you could be able to. You can't handle the rock like this. You can't. You put yourself in a different position that you just don't know how to be able to play. Mario will slaughter you if you keep trying to play his game. You got these fellas telling you what potholes. You responding to everything that you hear on social media. You going out to all these things and answering these superficial questions. Change the damn question. When they ask you a question, shift it entirely. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I do appreciate that. But you know what's important? Because we don't have much time. I don't have much time. And I could sit here and articulate to you and tell you all these particular things. Yeah, just go through it. You could study it and identify whether or not I'm a Bahamian or not. I've been given an opportunity. I was an ambassador before this, and there's no need for us to continue to be able to expand and elaborate on this. There's too much time expand. We don't have time for this. This is the vision I have for Garden Hills, and this is the vision I have for the country. Boom. You always bring it back to your point. That's what you do. You think... Listen, you bring it back to your point. Bam. With a smile. You bring it back to your point. Don't let these fellas run you up on breaks and then you get slammed. You lose socially and you lose globally. Because the first thing after you lose is global headlines and TMZ. Rick Fox down on his luck again. In the Bahamas, he's lost. He's lost his wife. He's lost this. He's lost. Come on, you know how these fellas is. They in California with you. You know how they is. I don't know these people. I only know what I'm watching off the thing here. You ain't local news, brother. You are global news. And so you have to pursue victory with your cards. You can't pursue victory trying to play another man's game. Mario is going to kill you at his game. This is what he just do. This is what he do. He good at the pocket. He good in the pocket. You can't do that. You gotta listen to me. This is easy. It's easy, you know. It's hard. Well, how much is something like this can cost you? Nothing. How much a telephone call cost? How much does a global endorsement cost you? Unless you've damaged those relationships that you had from an external standpoint, time to call in some favors. That's your collateral. Time to call in some favors. It's simple. I mean, I can't be sitting here giving you the game. You got the wrong fellas around you. You got the wrong fellas around you. I can't sit here and just give you the game. I mean, come on. Come on, man. I can't sit here and just give you the game. You know better than that. But you got to do better than this. You got to have a very clear understanding about what's what. And I don't want to be able to see, I can't say what you can do or what you ain't going to do. But it's useless to be able to have you in our political conversation in our particular spaces if the only thing that you're going to do is just contribute to these things the exact same way that it existed. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Let me see if I can read a couple of these texts. I had to cut my phone off and got it back on. Something was wrong with it. How are these my predictions so far on where I think that the constituencies are standing? Mark means up in the air for now. Obviously, these could change. Let me open up this document and see what he got here. Yeah, I had to cut off my phone and cut it back on. It's just showing that I didn't have any internet access. That didn't make sense. All right, so everything popped up. All right, so all these constituencies, he has everything laid out here. Let me see if I can be able to read it for you. Open it up and see exactly what's what. Now, these are 41 constituencies. One of my guests actually been able to, a caller sent me this here. So we're going to look at it and make a determination if he's making sense or not. So let's look at it and see exactly what's what. All right. 41 constituencies. He started off. All right. Grantstown, you don't know. I kind of in agreement with you. No, well, no. I think Wayne has a better position in Grantstown right now, especially if we have a short sprint. The reason why Travis has not gone back to being in Grandtown is not this man from being in Grandtown, but he didn't go back into that space in that position because the people tell him don't come back. From what I understand, the people tell him don't come back. They tell him don't come back. El Mencho. That's what his name was in Mexico. Somebody just texted that to me. How would you try to find El Mencho? My internet was giving me a problem. El Mencho. All right. So you have being in Grandtown. You have no one. Bamboo Town, PLP. Carmichael, you have no one. Why don't you have someone for Carmichael? Why? You think Orinthia could take Keith Bell? You think Orinthia could take Keith Bell? Okay. Let's go. Centerville, you got PLP. All right, so you got Jomo. PLP. All right. Elizabeth, you got PLP. Okay. For Charlotte, you got PLP. Okay. Fox Hill. Fox Hill, you don't know. Fox Hill is not going to be easy. Fox Hill is not going to be an easy fight. Fred knows that. Everywhere. Fred is a campaign extraordinaire. He can go campaign it. But this kind of a feverish determination to be able to ensure that he could be able to retain something, I think he stepped out of his character. Because, in my view, just through observation, he may have been a little overwhelmed with this sort of an idea. Chanel took him out during a time where you thought that he was, during the time that he thought that he was, undefeatable. Chanel took him out. And Chanel had national recognition, but she didn't have political polish. She didn't have political polish. She was cool. She's great personality as an individual, but she did not have political elk and polish. And she beat him. She beat him in Fox Hill, his town. And she beat him. You can't take nothing for granted. Dr. Fox in here giving out cake, hot dogs, candy, having a good time, enjoying it, having a festive environment around him. He's determined, he's focused, and it caused Fred to step out of character. When Fred say, cut ass is coming. Forgive me, I just telling you what Fred say. That was out of character for him. Fred is a statesman, he's articulate, he's insightful. I don't know, no person has used more words in this society than Fred. Fred, like every day he's finding a new word. Let's use this one today. And for him to be able to use that local dialect and colloquialism similar to what we were talking about, Sabas, seeking to be able to reach a particular demographic, I thought it was crazy. I said, this isn't Fred. What is Fred doing? Is Fred pressured in these particular areas? I don't know. So Fox Hill is going to be a challenge. Freetown, F&M. That's what he got here. Okay. Garden Hills. Garden Hills. He doesn't know. Oh my God, this is going to be a crazy election. You don't know? Golden Gates. PLP. That's PL. There's a lot of conversations, and people just get beside themselves having these kind of a futuristic concepts and ideas and conversations and whatnot. They keep talking about this sort of an idea as to whether or not Pia is going to be the first women prime minister. And listen, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Calm down. Calm down. Relax. Calm down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Pia, let her win this race. All right. Golden Isles, they don't know. I want to say to you that Golden Isles is also a difficult one because the Prime Minister and the Cabinet and the support of every branch throughout the country, more specifically the 25 constituencies that exist here in the island of New Providence, has supported Darren Pickstock in retaining that, in acquiring or retaining it for the PLP, but acquiring and becoming the Member of Parliament for the very first time against a two-time nominee for the Free National Movement in Brian Brown. Let's shoot straight now. Let's shoot straight. Darren may have a challenge. Now, I've spoken to senior persons within the PLP, and they don't necessarily see it as that. Now, keep in mind, they have the numbers. But we also have some information to indicate that Brian's team was not as prepared as they should have been. Let's just shoot straight. This is the information I received. Brian's team was not as prepared as they should have been. And I don't understand why. Because this isn't your first time to the rodeo. You knew what you had to do. So, let's just be straight and talk about this. The Prime Minister does not have that duplicity gene that he could be able to break himself into another 39 seats, 40 seats, and be walking with these people independently, individually, to be able to show that, all right, if you give them your support, you give me your support. That's going to have to be a general concept from a rally in the Southern Corridor, from a rally in these particular areas that speaks with clarity to these particular areas. That's it. So when he's talking to the people in Golden Isles, you got to be talking to the people in St. James. You got to be talking to people in Tall Pines. You got to be talking to the people in this area. Hello, somebody. Hello. Every man for himself now. Every man for themselves now. Let's shoot straight and be able to talk about this. So Golden Isles is going to be up in the air. Golden, man, what the hell you said this to me for? You got more question mark on this thing. You got more question mark on this thing than you got candidates identified. Anyway, let's keep going, right? So it's a Golden Isles. Question mark, he's not sure. I don't think, I think Brian Brown is confident on the surface, but I don't think he's going in this with confidence. Superficially, he's presenting himself with confidence, but I don't think he has the confidence that he thought he had, or he had existing, especially with a new candidate. He thought he had it. Oh God, somebody take this little boy out, man. I can take him out. Ain't nobody know him. Whatever. If it's Brian Brown against all PLPs, he couldn't beat that. He couldn't beat him. He was against every PLP. He couldn't beat him. Now it's Brian Brown against Darren Pickstock. But the truth of the matter is that he is already, your confidence has been depleted. He don't want to say this. Nobody can say this. Nobody can say this. You already didn't have 2 batches of doubt in this soup. Ain't nobody can eat that. You already then had 2 healthy servings of doubt mix up in your faith and your belief that you can go forward. You're going to have a difficult time. Now, all Darren have to do is strengthen his back, bang, and win. But he has to have a strong campaign. You have to have a strong campaign. You got to have his generals. You got to know where his people is. He should have been able to identify that. You just come on to this thing. This ain't hard. The information's still fresh. Still fresh. Okay. Killarney. He has a question mark to Killarney. I think Robin Lyons is going to win Killarney. I think she is. everybody believes that they're the exception and not the rule. Everyone. Everyone believes that they're the exception. Everyone. Yeah, but it was for them, but it wasn't for me. No, boy. Everyone believes that they are the exception and not the rule. Ministers believe from here to Timbuktu, to the end of the earth, to the edge of the firmament. Ministers believe that he is the exception. Now, Ministers has been proven to be the exception at certain junctures and points throughout the course of his political career. Especially after that cut behind he got, and blow after blow, Loretta hit him with a combo. Poof, poof, poof. He get a 3-piece. He get a 2-piece. He just keep getting blows, and he wouldn't move. You would think something would knock him out. He stagger, drop a knee on the mat, and be able to say, throw in the towel. None of that. He stayed still. He became the exception in that particular space. And because of his endurance, because of his ability to take blows, he became prime minister. And Loretta, gone. He believes that this is the same principle. Well, I guess this is the principles that he operates in. I can't fight him for that. It's his principles. And so his presentation and being able to identify himself in these particular capacities and position, his presentation is an indication that, okay, I did it before, I could do it again. And so he presents himself accordingly. Let's talk now. If Menace is playing a numbers game, this is not an emotional game. This ain't about who like me. He's playing a numbers game. This is only numbers he playing. Okay? Now everything he's doing is to be able to get younger people out to vote for him, because this is not attracting older people. Yeah. Middle-aged people going, watching him and getting kicks and giggles. Younger people looking at him, but they're not registered to vote. You're telling these young people, get up and go register to vote. For what? For what? For what? Robin Lyons can walk right behind and take that from all two of y'all. If you don't watch yourself. Because she coming in with a base that's stronger than both of you. You all sharing one base. Now, I read a couple stories that indicate that the Free National Movement members in the constituency of Kalani will not be supporting will not be supporting Michaela. But we haven't heard that for Robin. She has a base that she's attracting. Now, a lot of people say, I didn't see Robin yet. Robin just fresh on the ground. Ronnie walking with her. I'm sure he's going to show where the strength of his support lied. And as a result of being able to show where the strength of his support lied, she could now incorporate that or get discipleship and pull those persons into the strength of her support and move forward. She coming in with 1,500 to 1,800 votes. Minus got to get 1,500 votes. If Robin come in with 1,800 votes, hypothetically, if Robin come in with 1,800 votes, Minus come in with 1,000 votes. We gave that to you, Minus. We give that to you. We give you 1,000 votes. We give Robin 1,800 votes. And we give Michaela 1,500 votes. Michaela, to win, she have to get 1,000 votes. Minimum. 1,100 votes, to be honest, just to be on the safe side. To win, Michaela have to get 1,100 votes. To win. To win, Michaela has to get 1,100 votes and maintain her 1,500, which is her base. For Minus to win, Minus has to get 1,600 votes. He playing a numbers game. Minus have to get the most numbers to win. If Robin could retain, maintain, sustain 1,800 foundational votes, and she could build 400 votes on top of that, she win. Just 400. 400 people she need from the pool of undecided, from the pool of the FNM or the PLP or the FNM or the COI, if she could convince 400 people, voters, to vote for her in the next general election, and she could retain 1,800 votes, Robin is going to beat short. And I'm sure she could do that. Robin is going to. See, you're doing it for her. With all this indifference that you have, with all this separation, you're going to have FNM say, well, what the hell is it there? Man, Robin is a good-looking girl, Boy, she did well, Robin did well when Fred Mitchell came up against her. I like her stand. She's a very strong, articulate young person. she has vibrance. She has this determination in her spirit. She's a go-getter. I like Robin, I like Robin, But you know what? I'm voting for Robin. She's taking your votes. Robin's going to win that constituency. If y'all can't even make up your mind, Robin's going to win that constituency because of y'all. Menace, you cannot, Menace, listen to me. You're my guy. And I stand to be corrected. But if you could find 1,600 votes, it'd blow my mind. Just how we thought that Housen Mutri thought that he would have got it. No. If you could find 1,600 votes out of the 1,000 that we give you, because we give you 1,000 minutes, what the FNM did to you wasn't right. There is some this kind of reluctant support of the Free National Movement for how they treated a former prime minister of this country. Yes, there is that. You're going to get that. You're going to get that. You're going to get that sympathy vote. Man, they wrong for how they do minutes, Jesus God. They really wrong for how they do minutes. They shouldn't do minutes. And boom, you get that vote. You can get about 300, 400 people who say that, right? You can get another 300, 400 people who say, no, trust me, I for minutes. Boom. Then you can get about 300, 400 you can get about 200, 300 people to say, well, of everyone in terms of quality, in terms of character, in terms of preparation, I believe Menace is the guy. Boom. You get that one. You might even get some people who are curious. I wonder if Menace win, if he go back, take over the FNM. Let me see. Boom. You get that one. But you can get 1,600 with it and people curious. 1,600 people ain't curious enough trying to figure these things out. No. So let's be clear about this. I gotta take a quick break, guys. Let's talk about these things. We stopped at Kalani. Let's get into Marathon. Let me take a quick break, guys. Gonna be right back after this quick break.
Taking Bahamian music to the world.
This DJ
Sampler. Hit that subscribe button like a goat skin drum.
Hello, Ricky. It's Johnny Gate. Man. Listen, don't be there trying to keep us locked down. They want us go inside the kill man. So good break is great, man. That's sweet music. You know why they go there. You know why they go there. It's kill man. Watch this. When the music plays, I'm the first one to dance. Sexy gal gon' whine on me while my rum in my hand. Reggae spread so sweet, don't think you understand. I go in to mash up the place every time I go by the farm. I always get catch, drinking till I lose and I wet. Nobody gon' watch me if I can't bad and I sweat. On your market set, drunk but I ain't missing a step. Man, if you ain't feel the vibe, then stay over there by yourself. When Reagan spread returns, I go dance, I go sing, I go wave my flag. When Reagan spread returns, I go drink all the rum I can get on by. When Reagan spread
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly. Just these children off from school. Okay, praise God. You know what? We're going to have more than Teachers Appreciation Day. We love y'all. Amen? We love y'all because we couldn't get nothing done if it wasn't for these teachers. My God. I can't get nothing done. I didn't have meetings today. Daddy. Oh, my God. Anyway. Yeah, let's talk about this and let's talk with clarity about these particular things. I enjoy having these kind of conversations with you. Got another 13 minutes to be able to dive into these conversations with you and talk about these things. Now, so you say, you say Golden Gates PLP, for Kalani. I tell you, I feel like Robin could take Kalani. Marathon. There is an indifference that exists in marathon. Now, you may not want to talk about it, and I know Lisa don't want to talk about it, and she don't want to hear these particular things, but a lot of persons have been indifferent with that, and she's propped up by the support of the Prime Minister. Yeah, the Prime Minister supports her, and she's propped up and retains that particular position because of her support for the Prime Minister, but will that translate on the ground? Will it translate for her on the ground? I don't know. Let's figure that out. Mount Moriah. You said Mount Moriah PLP. You think that Michael Barnaby would be able to retain that particular position over Marvin Dames? Now, listen, I don't know why you're deciding to go in this particular direction. Let's be decent about this, okay? Let's be decent about this. Are we assessing from a social standpoint the relentless conversations that are happening about what Marvin Dames has not done or has done in his capacity as a Minister of National Security versus what Marvin Dames has done with or in his constituency, which is Mount Moriah? Politics is not global. Politics is not regional. Politics is local. People make decisions off of a local thing. Let's be clear about this. Politics is not this kind of a big concept that we have out here where people are going to do this based on this and no. Politics is very, very local. Okay? If Marvin Dames touched these people and they had rapport and a good relationship with him individually, outside of what he's done and what he has not done, Marvin Dames can win this constituency. In fact, to put PLP beside this, in my view, this constituency, out of a great deal of constituencies, I would have put a question mark to. Yeah, because, listen, Michael Barnaby has been working his tail off, and he has tangible results to be able to indicate the same. But Marvin Dames did have a good relationship with those particular persons. Yeah. And if it wasn't for this kind of a off with his head concept that they had for Minnis, he may have been able to retain that position. All right. Nassau Village, PLP. St. Anne's, F&M. St. Barnabas, PLP. Sea Breeze, PLP. Now, this ain't Howard prediction now. This is one of my guests who's calling me. South Beach, you ain't sure. Southern Shores, F&M. Ooh. Obi's going to be joining me sometime this week on my on the show over at ZNS on the Rundown. Obi's going to be joining me sometime this week. Tall Pines, question mark. Man, this is This is a hell of a list you give me, eh? St. James, F&M. Yamacraw up in the air? That's a good question mark you put just now. That was a good question mark. Central Grand Bahama, F&M. So let's just put Grand Bahama. 5 seats, F&M. All right, so Grand Bahama, Grand Bahama, Grand Bahama, Grand Bahama. Okay, so you say the PLP got nothing of Grand Bahama. I think that the PLP got Pine Ridge, though. If Marco Pine has to... Marco Pine has to capture... He has to maintain the interest and support, the commitment of those people who supported him in the last election. Okay? Let's look at those numbers. 2021 election results. Let's look at the 2021 election results. Okay? Let's be clear about this now. Now, let's look for it. Be going through all of these particular things just to be able to get to that. I want to be able to be accurate, well, as close as accurate as possible when I tell you what I have to say to you about this constituency, which is Marco City. Okay? Now, Marco City has never, Marco City is a flip seat, okay? It represents, it goes between political organizations at points. Which constituency is this? Marco City. Here we go. Oh, Pine Ridge is what we're looking for. Okay, Pine Ridge. Sorry. We're talking about Marco City. We're talking about Pine Ridge. Let's go. Pine Ridge is what we're looking for. All right, here we go. All right. Frederick Marco Pine, 1,175. 1,175. Okay, that's how much Frederick Marco Pine got. Ginger Moxie in the constituency got 1,423. I tell you, this ain't gonna be easy. Okay? This ain't gonna be easy. Hold on, let me just do some maths. Be able to identify 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4. All right? 3 minus 1 is 2, 0, 248. If Frederick Marco Pine can be able to intrigue people, watch me now, let's do this with decency and order. If Frederick Marco Pine can be able to re-engage, intrigue people to retain their position of support for him in the constituency of Pine Ridge, that's 1,175. Let's drop 175 people. Let's drop 175 people just for the sake of this conversation. Not that he's lost support. But for the sake of this conversation, things have been shifting. Okay? Shando Khan. Shando got 15 votes. Belinda Williams in this particular constituency, she got 34 votes. And Wilborn Boodle got 886 votes. Right? Tavia Lowe got 16 votes. Let's say 175 people didn't vote for Michael Pine no more. 175. Michael Pine walk in the constituency with 1,000 votes. He show up, we give him the same amount of votes that Minnis get, 1,000 votes. Michael Pine get 1,000 votes, and Michael Pine could convince 600 people, and I thought he good for that. He good for that. If Michael Pine could convince 600 people to vote for him, Michael Pine will win. He have to convince less people. 600 is a round number. He has to convince less people than Minnis has to convince. You hear me? Michael Pine can win this constituency. He can. So, to me, it's between PLP, and this is only realistic, okay? This is only a realistic view based upon the snapshot that existed last time. To me, for the constituency of Pine Ridge, I still can't. For the life of me, I don't understand why the FNM didn't re-engage Michael Pine after the general election. For the life, I guess because he was dealing with too much internal fighting, and you just wasn't focused on politics. The level of politics is necessary to be able to get some things done. There's no way you're supposed to let 1,100 votes walk away from you. These are Boodle votes. Boodle would have been in the House of Assembly today if it wasn't for Michael Pine. And you still didn't re-engage Michael Pine. What's going on in the FNM? What is going on in the FNM? What is going on in the FNM? Is there a level of hatred? Is there this don't even make sense. Well, I'm not gonna fight you. That's what it is. And that's how I was looking and being able to talk about those things. We can finish this list a little bit later. So far, you've given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 PLPs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the FNM. And then you give me a bunch up in the air. You give me a bunch up in the air. You give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry, 9. You give me 9. Let's count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the PLP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the FNM. You give me a dead split based upon what we've gone through so far. This is going to be interesting. And I'm having a good time dissecting these particular things based upon strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that exist from the candidate and the constituency. I ain't talking nothing else. I want to talk strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that exist in these particular capacity. I want to talk about these things. I see everybody want to be emotional in these things. That if you come with Howard, you can have a different conversation. You ain't got to come with me. I can sit here and talk, but you tell Jesus come. Here and on the rundown. I can sit down and talk about you that if that's what you want. If that's what you want. But if you're willing to have and what are you scared of? What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid to talk about whether or not you have a vision for the constituency? If you don't have a vision for the constituency, then don't come. But if you have a vision for the constituency and what your intention is to be able to do, what you want to be able to see flourish, what you've been working on, what's the conversation, how you've been able to do, if you into that, then I into that. That's what I into. But if you just want to hit me with the rhythm of, well, the PLP has never done this, and the FNM is definitely not known for, I don't have that conversation. Politics is local. I don't care about your party politics. If you don't know how to be able to intertwine your party politics into your local vision for the constituency that you are seek to represent, or seek to represent yet again, then you shouldn't have a conversation with me. It's just what it is. We're going to finish the rest of this tomorrow. God spare our lives. Today, we did the best that we can. I hope we didn't have any lagging. I hope we didn't have any issues. I only did one. This is, you say you think Wade lost ground. say that Fox is a better candidate than Chanel. She definitely is. He definitely is. Pierre for Prime Minister. Say that even sound good, right? How it is too early. This is just how things stand as we speak right now. Okay. I'm not going to fight you. Well, that's the show today, guys. I want to thank you so very kindly for that. I got to run to a couple meetings and then get myself prepared for the show this evening. Guys, check me out. I'm going to be on the rundown this evening at 8 p.m. as you can see, be able to talk about national growth and development and the issues thereof. You guys have a beautiful day. I'm going to see you tomorrow, God's Prayer Life, right here on The Foundation.
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahama land to the foundation.